this is back to Turkey and Erdogan, but I read this and I was just literally like, this is Islam doing its Islamic thing, its expansionist thing. But yeah, because we did bring up Turkey earlier, but I don't know if this is going to help change your opinion at all, Horace, in general. But what's Erdogan been up to? So he's seeking to rally Turks in Europe behind political Islam. Turkish President Erdogan is attempting to rally Turks across Europe behind his political Islamist cause, according to a report by the Stockholm-based Nordic Research and Monitoring Network. Erdogan, who clearly sees Turks living in Europe as his own citizens, rather than nationals and/or residents of the countries where they live, work, and retire, called on all to unite under one nation and one flag, the network said on Monday. Last month, what does that remind you of? We're already getting those vibes, right?
Khilafat.
Right?
And very quickly, I want to make the point. This is what earlier I was saying, that I just hate these countries and this worldview and this nationalism. They all look towards the past glory. They all do that. Whether they're Russians or Turks or Middle Easterns or Indians, they all do this. The only
it's
way
like
forward
Brits as well, who try and glorify the British Empire, or
get out of here! Don't waste my time. The relics of the past, leave them in the past. But anyway, so this is what exactly is doing. Let's just create the caliphate.
Yeah, this is the rhetoric that we're seeing. So last month, he said that when Turkey properly mobilizes this power, right? Read between the lines. When Turkey properly mobilizes this power, no organization, no evil structure, no hidden or open obstacles can stand at its way. He spoke at a meeting organized by the Union of International Democrats, known as Erdogan's Justice and Development Party, proxy group abroad. Erdogan's speech at the UID meeting was by far the most provocative to date, amounting to overt political interference in European affairs and using Turks and Muslims as trump cards against the nations, the network said. Formerly named as the Union of European Turkish Democrats, the group was evaluated as incompatible with Germany's constitutional order, according to a report by the German Domestic Intelligence Agency. Anyway, this UID has 253 branches with 38 regional organizations in 17 countries. So in his speech, Erdogan has given directions to UID members to work harder to achieve their objectives. The more you expand this umbrella as the UID, the more you increase your sphere of activity and influence. Okay, watch the very interesting use of words. The more successfully you can fulfill the mission of delivering these messages to our citizens, organizing them and preparing them for the future. It cited Erdogan as saying, the next pillar of the bridge we built from the past to the future should and will be the places where we live in Europe, Erdogan said. Erdogan said hundreds of millions of Muslim friends and brothers i.e. the Ummah, stand behind the Turks, and that they are all committed to the advancement of the causes of Allah and the truth. Turkey, backed by Turks and Muslims in Europe, would derail any plans devised by European governments, Erdogan said. Together we will spoil the plots of those who try to divide our people, and together we will bring down their plots on their heads, he said. Wow, if you don't get that kind of inspiration from a book like the Quran, I don't know where you get it from, mate. But
look, there's a lot of politics in that, and there's a political agenda in that, and every Muslims or Turkey or any Islamic empire would not be the sole guilty party in that. Every empire's done that. British Empire, Austro-Hungarian Empire, Russian Empire, whatever. That's
exactly,
what empires
they've done that. But right, this is like here and now, and that's what we're talking about. This
is what I was saying, that. Well, some people say, the main motivation for Putin is to go back to the glory days of the Russian Empire, and that's what pisses him off. That's what pisses him off. They the Estonia, Latvia, and all those countries are like,
they're not his anymore.
Yeah, they're not mine anymore. But and it's always a popular point to rally the support of your public as well, because you are, after all, a dictator. They haven't put you there in power. So all these countries now, they still look back. They're looking back at the past, and this is what Erdogan is trying to cash in on. This is why the earlier caller, when he came, I say that I despise this worldview. this worldview that just why I mean post World War II, especially European and by and large everywhere else as well, Nepal for example, Bhutan, and so many other small countries, the UN ensured that we recognize and respect the territorial integrity of small countries. If there's any other era of history, and that's why we had empires. Well, there's a little tiny little country in my east. Well, just send 10,000 soldiers there, capture the land, take their women
Divide
or
and
whatever.
conquer, capture, exploit their
Just,
natural
just
resources, enslave their people, tell them our ways are better. Standard procedure, yeah.
yeah, and you could do that, but now the UN ensured that you can't do it. Tiny countries, you don't have
Sovereignty, safe,
yeah,
yeah.
you don't conquer them. But these people are still relics of the past. They're imaginings. What? Not only the fact that it's just wrong, but it's also I believe in this. It's not going to work because no past idea ever actually works. Nothing. Yes, Mongolians were great. Yeah, they went extinct. They can't bring back even if Genghis Khan, we brought him from the past and installed him here and made him the president of Mongolia. Wouldn't be able to do it. Why? Because he was just a product of his time. Idea worked in that time. Muslim, early Islamic expansion. The idea worked at that time. Yes, whatever the idea was. These people don't get it. That you can't just relive it. You can't. You have to come up with something better and newer that has never been done before to rule the world. And even the definition of ruling the world has changed now. America, the better part of
It's
the last
financial and
century.
economic ruling now.
Yeah, it's not America. Why America is the only superpower in history that actually hasn't conquered foreign lands. Yes, initially, the war with Mexico and all of that. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm talking about America did not feel the need. Okay, let me just go to Africa and grab this chunk of Africa and then plant my American flag and subjugate the local people. America didn't do that because the definition of conquering has changed. What America does in that little Guinea-Bissau country or whatever, they just send their multi-billion-dollar oil companies and they say, well, you know what? We don't care what you do with your people. Just let us take the oil. Now that is the modern day conquering. And it is unfortunate, but it's changed. But these people at least catch up with that. They don't even catch up with them. They're still going, man, I want to do this the old way. I'm going to send my forces there. I'm going to capture the land and I'm going to, suck the resources out the old school way. It doesn't work. It's not going to work.
Also, I struggle with, like, I'm sure they're also aware that if you are going to try and push this kind of rhetoric and this is your long-term goal and you still think of dominance and ownership and world powers in that way, in terms of like physical conquering, even like what Erdogan is saying right now, like even with Imran Khan, when he's trying to like walk this tightrope, he literally said the other day, and I read this in my stream, which this is what he quoted. He said, "I will not bow to anyone other than Allah, and will not allow my nation to do so either." Right? When you are following, yeah, exactly. But when you're following this, just kind of like echoing what Erdogan is saying in that meeting, you know that you are going to completely, in so many ways, cut off and isolate your country from the rest of the known modern first world, right? Where it's all happening, where you want to be, where the economy is kicking off. That's where your opportunities are. Those are the trade deals you want. Those are the political allies you want. And by doing this and by constantly trying to live in this old school world mentality where you think that there is a possibility for you all to unite under this Muslim brotherhood and conquer these lands or pull a fast one over European governments and parliaments, the knock-on side effects is this: your country is just never going to progress in terms of literacy rates, economy, infrastructure, innovation, everything. And that's what we're seeing happen in obviously like places like Afghanistan and Pakistan. And it's scary to think that if Turkey has this kind of agenda, and I think Erdogan most definitely does have this agenda up his sleeve, it's very dangerous.
I really can't wait till he's booted out. Like, there's certain dictators or certain leaders. Yeah, all right, technically he's not a dictator, but he kind of headed that way. And I think Imran Khan he is Imran Khan's inspiration as well. And That's what Imran Khan wants to be. He
Yeah,
wants to be a strong
totally.
man. He
Yeah.
wants to be like that, and that's why he's like he wants to make decisions at his whim, and he thinks that okay, well, I so what if I just turn the 7-year-old alliance that Pakistan has had with the United States? I just don't like America, so I'm going to go with Russia. Well, hang on, it's still a democracy, and that's the reason why he's being booted out, because the rest of the opposition parties they don't agree. One of them said that, oh look, America, without America we're lost. Yeah, America's
Yeah.
our ventilator. That's
Yeah.
what one of the politicians said. And the Pakistani army chief, he came out and he said that no, sorry, we condemn Russia. We are with the West on this. We're with the Ukraine, with the Ukrainians. But Imran Khan is like, no, sorry, no, I'm gonna take my own stance. So yeah,
And
let's
then he
just hope.
finally condemned it, right? And remembered really who his daddy is.
No, Imran hasn't condemned him. Imran still hasn't
Oh, I
condemned.
thought today you said earlier that he
No,
had.
I said the army
Oh,
chief did it.
oh, the
Pakistan's
army
army chief.
chief did. Right,
The
right,
army
right.
chief had
Okay.
been staying tight-lipped, and
Okay.
that's what I was saying. I was saying that look, even they said that Imran Khan is in army chief's pocket. No, it
Mm.
shows a clear rift between the two, and he kept his mouth shut. This is the first. Anyway,
But
all
this
right.
is what the issue is, right? This is like a serious rift now that's like come out obviously
Yeah.
on a big way, in
Let's
a
see
big
who
way.
wins. But
Yeah.
he's very popular right now. Imran Khan is very popular. That's why he
Yeah.
called the early elections. I have a feeling he might win.
So do I, and so do all of Imran Khan's supporters. You don't
Oh, they
understand
yeah.
how happy they were when he survived this, and they are adamant that he's gonna win this vote. They're like, it's a walk in the park now. Wait.
What is wrong with this? Did you just miss the whole thing that I just said? It's the old way of doing it. King Leopold of Belgium. When was it? 19th century? Man, literally. Where's the wall? Where's the wall? Boom!
You've got
Boom!
two to choose from
Boom!
there.
And I
Yeah,
specifically
they're
gave the
all
example of the
relics
New World
of
Order in
past.
America.
Exactly. Economic warfare versus that things of the past, like that, for sure. Even the
Yeah.
transatlantic slave trade back in the past, fully acknowledge America's role in it, fully acknowledge what they've done to Africa, but this is now economic warfare. It doesn't work like that.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone!